Okay, I
I
think
start.
we are already live.
Yes,
Okay, so
we're live now.
great. Yeah, let's get started here. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. If you are watching us, please tell on the chat, share on the chat where you're from, your name, so we can interact with you. And well, today we are running a special session here of the Out of the Box developer. We are here on the campus party. It's a largest event, technology event here in Latin America. So as you can see, it's a lot of lights. That's better. I'm I'm with Gabriel here on his side. So you can see me here and Gabriel is
If you
just on my
want to hide,
side.
I show you or here.
Okay, and then here we have lots of stands, many communities and companies uh, showing their products, and we have here on the side just now at 7 p.m. in Brazil. Bruno Souza is opening the event here, so it's just really just started. A lot of people. For those who don't
Wow.
know, Campus Party is a technology event, but with a difference that people take five days to make camping here at the event. So it's a very it's a strong, intensive interaction here with all the participants. I hope if you are curious, you can find a lot of material in the on the internet. And and well, let me just introduce our guest here today. Um, Not guest, but we are with Manny. That's not a guest, right, Manny? You are here with
Okay.
us, organized since the beginning. But we have two guests here. We have Max and Gabriel. If you guys can introduce yourself quickly, I think it will be great for the audience. Who wants to start now? Gabriel, do you want to start?
Well,
Oh, okay. You say outtakes, outtakes I say about the event. We make so Java campus here. This is a special session because today and all every day we have a lot of talks with the community Soul Java, and they have any speakers like Rafael Danero, Jessica Ferrari, and great persons here. And if you don't, how can I say? Oh, I forgot to say. uh, and oh my gosh, it's show pop up here. And this event is very amazing. And go ahead, Manny. You can say things, share or things.
Sure.
That
Yeah. So thanks for organizing this, Hugo. I know you've been busy putting the schedule together, and thank you for bringing the guests together. And Gabriel, thanks for bringing us to this event, because normally either we wouldn't be doing this or we would have to do it on another day. But it's great to be having this event whilst you're at the event and you're broadcasting the out of the box session. So it's always good. It's always good to be part of this, and I'm looking forward to this session. I hope it's as lively as the other sessions we have had in the past. Um, yeah, we are just waiting for more people to sign in. I hope Bruno signs in as a guest or as an audience, just like he did the last time. But yeah, I think with that I'll pass it on to Max, so he does the introduction. Um, Over to you, Max. Whatever you want to say, how you want to introduce yourself.
okay, thanks again, guys. Well, really, actually, I'm an intruder right now because I'm just jumping in, and I can't. How can I say, lose the opportunity to be join together to these guys, money with the special tips that he always provide us to improve our career. Also, I'd like to thank you everyone down here that is watching us. So I think that if you want to asking something, if you want to say something, please send on the chat. Say where are you from. Let's talking a little bit. Let's discuss and let's make this thing more interactive one session today. Okay, so I'm an intruder, man. So I think Manny or Yoga or Gabriel will take it away because, well, I'm here. If you want to talk a little bit, I'm here to help you guys. Thanks.
Great, great. Thanks, Max, for joining us here. I see Daniel Saraiva just said Bora. Probably he's Brazilian. it's
It's like let's go,
Let's
guys.
go. Yeah, great. So welcome, Danielle. Please, if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask here. We can always interact today. And well, I think we have two things to do today. Money, I believe that you have content that you want to show to us, a demo, and also we want to take uh, here the lights here just sometimes just go and come back.
Turn
And
off the door. Turn off the
yeah, it
lights.
turns on and turns off. And we also want to share a little bit about our thoughts on the conferences, how these conferences like Campus Party and any other dev conferences, how it can actually help us grow in our career. So I think there are two topics to discuss here. Money, do you want to how do you want to start here? Do you want to go with your
Yeah, I think it's a good idea since you are at a conference. I think it's a great idea to start to talk about the conference, and
Mhm.
towards the end, I can do a quick 10 minutes demo because it's not. I want to keep it as a surprise. That's why I've not shared the link even in the Dropbox
Okay,
paper. But 10 minutes before we close, so let's say another 30 minutes from now, we should think about doing the demo. So then we
great.
have a nice closing. But we have two sets of questions. One is a conference related, but then we also have a recurring set of questions that we keep repeating and carrying forward from every session to every session. Let's see which one of those questions we're going to be able to answer this time, right? So I think we can
Great.
even leave this flexible, and let's get on with the question about how conferences help you grow, and help you grow in your career. And I can give great examples, but I'd like you guys to start because you're now in the midst of a conference happening right under your nose or right in your vicinity, right? I can share my experience of conferences just after you guys finish. So whoever wants to take on from here, Hugo, you start since you have asked the question, and then maybe
Yes,
Gabriel or Max can follow on.
great,
Oh
great.
yes, yes. We're the like introduction.
Yeah, but well, I'm a guy that don't have so much experience in conferences, and one thing that changed my mind a lot since a couple of years is about connecting with other people. Uh, in our career, at least for me, it was very common to think that we have to study ourselves and grow ourselves and doing all this alone, uh, reading posts on the internet and trying out some projects. Uh, but in recent years, I see how how powerful it is to actually have this opportunity to meet people in person and share experiences that you don't find so easily when you are looking on posts in the internet or something like that, because sometimes we don't share our challenges. We share a lot our success stories, but don't share so much our failure stories or our challenge that we have during the journey. And some yeah, this is something that I got from being in conferences. I see a lot of people that not only the speakers that they share their knowledge there, but the people that are the audience that is watching those speakers. I see a lot of benefits of having some connection with them and get some close to people that have the same challenges, the same problems as you have. So for me, that is one of the powerful thing I I I I see when I participate in a conference. I feel like I'm not alone in this journey. So that's one thing that I really appreciate on those conferences. I don't know you guys if you had much more different experiences participating into at conferences. I don't know if Max and Gabriel, I think that you are much more present in many different conferences, right?
Oh, that's a little bit.
A little bit.
It's my experience in conferences similar that Woodstock say here. Get know people's like your network, you are same boat. Uh, how can I say? You enter in conference, you enter to make network. And I am here today in the campus party, but my objective is make network, create contacts with new companies, with new communities, uh, create good contacts because I have one thing in my mind. If you make connections or if you make a conversation with another peoples, these people remember you. And if you remember, show opportunities your life, you like your career, or you make a company with another people's. How can I say it? Can start any opportunities to you. And I like the conference, like the Campus Party, TDC, Conference Day, conference in January because geez, I make a big network and I learn new things like uh, and I have a lot of talks here and many teams. And in my opinion, that conference is a space to make network and find the people's in the same boat. You like, oh, I have a Yugo here, and the Yugo is the same boat, and oh, we need make a software, or we have the similars to make one thing. You know, it's my vision about the conference. And you, Manny, tell me more. You have a lot of experience with the events.
Maybe. So my conference journey started almost 9 years ago, and I can actually show you a tweet, which is I can share the tweet here, which was just shared recently, but the tweet is only 8 years old. But there has I have been at my first conference 9 years ago, and since then, firstly, I haven't stopped going to conferences, but I also have made a lot of contacts. But I also go to meetups, which are not like conferences, but which are like much smaller, organized mini sessions where you have similar networking and learning and getting to know people and getting to learn the topic or a subject that you attend the meetup for. So yeah, I can say the same things. When you go to a conference, you get to meet a lot of people, you get to network, you get to meet a lot of like-minded people. There are a lot of people who are working on um, projects that you may be interested in, or they might be looking for contributors, and they would like you to join in and contribute. And a lot of times, community-driven companies, like for example, Oracle, Red Hat, you name it, SAP, they send their developers, but they also send their evangelist team and sales and marketing team and the technical team into such conferences. They set up booths, they set up workshops, they set up they give presentations, and they share technical knowledge, but they're also there to make connections with developers like us, because they hire a lot of companies. The forward thinking companies are actually hiring from the community, And where do they meet the people from the community? At conferences, because people from various communities, various developer communities, come and attend these conferences. Just like you have several communities in Brazil, and a lot of the members are either organizing the conferences. If they're not organizing, they're going to a conference, right? So either way, they're meeting other members of their community or other developer communities, but they're also meeting companies who are either sponsoring those events, or they're going there and setting up presenting or giving workshops. So there's a lot of cross pollination. In fact, I have made a lot of friends, and I'm still in touch with them. A lot of them, not all of them, because you got to meet them at conferences and keep in touch. It can sometimes get overwhelming, but they're really great people. You stay in touch with them, you then collaborate with them on projects, and it really makes things happen in your career. Because sooner or later, when your experience increases, because when you meet a lot of experienced people and you collaborate with them and you talk to them and you meet with them and you work on with them on projects, then your skills also improve. Your rapport with the developer community improves, and you learn how to communicate with developers remotely, even if you're not seeing them in person. Because we have been moving away from this in person, face to face development environment to remotely placed development teams. So we're getting to learn a lot of those things by engaging ourselves in events like these, like conferences, and collaborating with people from conferences and keeping in touch with them, and then going and seeing them again. So it's a good mix of social activities, plus you're learning and you're building your connections and your network.
It's amazing because this Sunday I will do a talk regarding the career after 10 years of career, uh, how open source and the community can improve your career when we got a certain experience. Like me, for example, I have been work as Java developer since 2003. So so a lot of things I need to learn by myself, put those things on a company, and but I don't get a start to talking to community, to go to meetup and things like that, because on my in my reality on the time I was a little different. But when I get a start to jumping on meetups, on conference, talking to the other developers, especially open source developers, I can realize that, oh God, how much things that I can learn with those guys. You find out the best developers around the world, because the most developers are on open source. So you learn about technologies, about best approaches on your development experience, so you can improve yourself, not just on the code, but you learn another skills like communication skills. You get out of your comfort zone. So I think that in my career right now, I must thank for community, for conference, and I must thank for the people that I meet, because they can learn, they can teach me more than I learn. So and I realized that I can use it then as example, because they are example for us. Like many is sharing his knowledge, and we can understand how can we improve our career, and it's very meaningful for me. It's very meaningful. That's the reason why I changed my career. I stopped to work closing on a company, and I jumped in on a community trying to help the people, because it's so important to me. So I must thank you, and I hope that the people that are watching us realize that it's very important to connect you to another developers in the conference, in the meetups, in your local meetups, jumping on the communities, share your acknowledgement. You see the things you've done. The, of course, you need to take action. You need to get out and do it, because if you don't do this, anything will happen. So, okay, but that's it for me. That's it, man. Thanks. Thank you
Great.
very much.
I just want to give a quick hello to Oliver and Dev Multitask. Hello, I see your message here. If you want to ask anything, if you want to participate on a conversation, please send us the question. Any questions that you have about conferences. One thing that when money are talking about that learning things and sharing experience here inside conferences um, is how it changes when you are just the audience or just the participant of a conference and when you are a speaker or someone that it will be talking in front of other people. Hey Pedro, how are you? And this changes a lot because well one thing that is very important if you want to grow in your career is to build a reputation, right? And to build a good reputation, you need three. There are three very important things. You need to have the visibility, and you need to know what you want to share. So you and do it very well. And then also you have to build. You have to be uh, trustworthy for others. Others need to trust you because so you will have a good reputation about anything that you are focused on. And one very interesting thing that Bruno shared, I think, very recently to us is about people that are on a staff plus position um, if they want to grow, and if you want to go to a level of staff plus engineer that is much higher than an senior developer, uh, you will have to reach people in public. You will need to have a good, at least a very good reputation to get there. So conferences helps a lot with that. We are all will be here both me, Gabriel, and Max also will be speakers here in the conferences. It's a great opportunity for us, an open space to talk about our experiences, to have people knowing ourselves. It's the one of the pillar of the reputation, the visibility that it gives to us. So that's one thing very important, I think, to to think about. And it's very interesting because when I start to think about that, um, uh, all the content is very interesting here in the conference. But the last conference that I went, it was on TDC here. I a very funny situation that since we are moving from a pandemic situation, there are many people that I just know on the remote here, and I get to know in person on the TDC conferences, and I spend much more time talking with all those people than watching the speaker's presentation, because for me it's much more interesting to get more close to those people that is for a long time. I know them for a long time. I was talking with them, but actually in person it's very rare to have this opportunity. So uh, that is a mind shift for me. That was a big step for me to see a conference not just about content. It's much more about connections we create here. What do you think about that? I talk a lot, I think. Go ahead.
You say it's totally true. It's a point of the visibility. It's my hard, my microphone. The
No, just
oh,
continue speaking. Don't worry. Just continue speaking.
all right, okay. And then you go say a great point. It's a visibility, and then you have a visibility. The people have trust in you, and then you remember. Okay, you go. It's a give talk in TDC. I will meet you go to give a talk in the campus party, and the thesis is its transformation in snowball, effect snowball. I can say like the persons, the peoples remember you ever event and they send it send a message to you and many you don't want to give a talk in the Vox or all Max you don't want to give a talk in Java 1 an example this is very amazing because they have the visibility. You created this network, these connections in general. In my opinion, this is very very good. Like our event is in January and the meetup is conference. It's turn around connections and the remember. Like you create memories about this moment. It is very very cool. Like it's very very nice. What to do at this?
Well, it's interesting because Dev Mutesk said in the chat that every speaker was a joiner before, and we never stop learning, and that's it. So we need to realize that the most of the people when saw us speaking on a conferences or on a meetups or trying to share acknowledgement, they just to see us on that result. Oh, this guy is so hard. The best one and something like that. He's a reference, but actually we did a lot of work to do this. So, but anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. They just need to focus on trying to create good visibility, a good trustful, be trustful, like as Yogo said before. So I think that if you pay attention to this, trying to share your screen, take connect to the people, getting started, step by step, baby steps, you will get on. You end up like us, and I hope that you're better than us. We always want to see the people get success as well. So that's that I think about it. And your money, do you have some tips to do to say to us?
I think you all said everything. I couldn't add anything more there, and I'd like to highlight the point Hugo mentioned earlier, that, and I've had that same in the beginning when I would go to conferences. I would like to sit at the talk, watch the talks, and watch the talks. Like a lot of times, ask questions as well. But when I started going to more and more of these conferences and making social contacts and collaborating with them on projects, then I realized that I can actually watch the recorded version of the talks later on, right? Okay, asking the questions. Maybe I can tweet the speaker later on about any questions I have. But I don't meet the people that come to the conference who I've made friends with, who I want to collaborate and work on a project with. I don't meet them all the time. There's only 24 hours or 48 hours or 72 hours that we are together, and time flies really quickly, as from morning to night. We are not sleeping much, right? We are at the conference all day, and in the evening we've been taken to parties, or we go out for dinner, or whatever social activity we do, and then we come home late. But we don't get to see the people. So I don't initially it was I was interested in going to the conferences and attending the talks, but eventually I was also trying to build my contacts. And as Hugo was mentioning, it is a lot fun to see them in person and chat with them and connect with them, and get to know them better, than to go and sit in a corner and watch and attend a conference. I mean, I wouldn't say that everybody should do that, but find your rhythm. But you will notice that as you grow into a conference, you will notice you will change from being someone who's attending all the 24 talks of the day to someone who attends 12 talks and then socializes and also mingles and meets with people. So that's kind of a tip I will give, because Bruno says this all the time. Software development is a social event, right? Think about it. It's not just a technical event, it's a social event, it's a social activity. It's not a technical activity, right? Only if you look at how Git is has totally promoted this concept of decentralized uh, repositories, and also remote teams working together and collaborating. That whole thing has brought the paradigm shift in the way developers work. Previously, developers used to work in silos or in small groups only, but now developers from any part of the world can collaborate, just like we are collaborating on this session, and contribute code, build code online, and share code, and things like that. So I think we should try to keep the physical activities we do, like in-person conferences or in-person technical activities, also in the same light, where we're not too geared and glued to the technical things like just talks and computers, and we're also making connections with people, because our work will be recognized by people, will be benefited by people if you connect with people and you share it with them and you build a rapport with them, right? Otherwise no one will know you're a good developer, or you've got some great work to share with the rest of the community or the rest of the world.
I was thinking here and about developers that you find here. Do you think they have some difference uh, compared to developers that don't have so much interaction or don't go so much on, don't have so much interest in conferences? Do you think it's a good place to find good developers to hire, or at least to get connected with them?
So I think statistically yes, but not necessarily all the time. You see, a lot of good developers could be introverts, right? They'd like to just be with them by themselves, keep it themselves. They may fear going into public and to meeting people, but not necessarily every social developer is a good developer, right? So
Right.
they might be mutually exclusive, but if you look at statistics and probability, then at least one of the important elements, which is socializing, that you will always find, and then you can make that person a better developer, right? Whereas someone who's a good developer, it is hard to tell them to change the way they are, right? Because if they're going to, they like privacy and they like to be isolated and they don't like to go into uh, public places and they don't like to go into conferences and all the noise and crowd, and they might have some other restrictions or difficulties or phobias, right? then then that's those are the limitations you cannot eliminate or reduce from those people's lives easily. I'm not saying you cannot, but it's less practical to do that than the ones who are already being social. They're coming forward, um, and the next thing, and they're passionate about something and they want to learn and they know something, and they also may be very good developers and they don't need too much mentoring. But then also there are ones who are in between. So the first barrier is lifted, right? People contact, them being social. So yes, I would say the half of the answer is yes there. The other half is depending on other factors about that person that is required. What is your definition of a good developer, right?
Oh
That
yeah,
also that
that's a good question.
Yeah, but at least we all will agree, right, in good extent, that social behavior is essential, right? Someone who will be empathetic, who will talk to you, communicate, who will share things with you, who will be happy to take feedback and work on it, who'll be happy to accept they're wrong, and will be happy to nicely tell you that, okay, this is the right answer, actually this may not be the right answer, do you want to consider, and those kinds of things, right? Those are the first set of soft skills that you would see, and then the remaining hard skills can be wired into them with practice, because once you have those things in good place, then it's easier to put the hard skills down into them, right? If you don't have those soft skills, many of those soft skills in place, then there's a barrier to let them know anything. So that's,
Good point.
yeah. And maybe at a conference you're going to be able to find more such people than less.
Yeah. One thing that I come in my mind is that if they are in the conference also participating, is that because they have interest on the content on the
Yeah,
and maybe they are more. I think I'm not very good with the word passionate, but I think they have some uh,
yeah,
uh, uh, um and honest interest on the topic.
yeah, yeah. You're right. So there's small bits of everything, right? There'll be say sometimes they might have a lot of passion, but sometimes it's only interest, but sometimes it's also um uh, it's the academic subject or their focus of interest, because that's what they're majoring in or studying at the university, right? But also it shows they're open and outgoing, to certain degrees, right? That they are willing to go out and listen to other people's opinions and share their opinions with the people as well. So there are those different, one layer of the other, one thing above the other, gets stacked up.
Great. Uh, I see George Vidal. Hey, George, how are you? I see your question here. Also, I see Davi Vieira send a message here. Hey, Davi, welcome. Um, let's see the question here. And remote work is great, but also you are a little more alone. So these events are great excuse to leave house to leave out. I think
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
now
great point.
we try to find anything to be excuse to leave
Yeah,
out from the home.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Given that we had to do this for two continuous years under restrictions, big ones. Now that we get an opportunity to be at a conference, I'm not surprised there's so much noise happening behind you.
Yes, and well, we talk about developers that participate in conferences, and how about companies that sponsor conferences or sponsor employees to participate in conferences? What do you think about that?
So
Like,
I think it's a great thing. A company sponsoring an event or a conference or a meetup or a community event or a hands-on session is a great gesture, because it also shows that more of such things must happen, because such events bring a lot of talent together, right? And when companies are sponsoring them, that's helping cross-pollinate these talents, helping build relationships between these talents, right? So that means it's helping build more social activities, social technical activities between the people. Like a lot of authors of books and authors of application programs and authors of libraries and packages and ideas and solutions and speakers meet at conferences. They click and they go away and either write a book or give a talk at a major conference, or they go away and write an application or a library, or go and start a company. A lot of startups ideas have come out by two people or three people or a group of people meeting other people at a conference, right? I know of that 12 years ago, of many such startups that have just come to surface. And so I hope that answers a part of your question, but we can't go on expanding on that idea. Of course, a lot of times companies would sponsor events because they want to meet these talented people, maybe even work with them, or do, maybe if it's depending on what it is, maybe if it's an incubator, they want to meet these talented people and seed them with ideas and fund them so that can go and start a business, or a tech business, or a solution, or it's just a place where people want to meet other people to start technical projects, or present and things like that. So so yeah, that's my take on that. I don't know what Gabriel and Max have to say about companies sponsoring events.
Oh, I fixed my name here. Okay. The company's advantage, in my opinion, is very important to imagine the company in January. Like, if the company make events, it is the company is very get recognize the community. And one example, I work here at Accenture today, and my company it's
sponsor,
responsible.
sponsor,
Yes, responsible is this word
no,
you say.
sponsor.
Comfort. In the campus party, and this is very good to sponsor. Oh, thank you. It's a sponsor the campus party. It's very good because I have association with my company. And oh, Gabriel is working the Accenture. Accenture, oh, Accenture is the company that sponsor the campus party and the creative a connection and create a good relationship. Look at the companies with good eyes, you know. And it's, in my opinion, it's very, very good. And the company creates events. It's another point is very good because the companies share your knowledge with the community or the persons in general. Like create meetups. And Max is it's the best person to say about this. It's a advocate here. And they create an event with your company and create meetups, create not create, participate in the events, show the technology the company using to guys that have interest to enter the company. Like I have interest in the enter any companies because of the events. Tell me more
Yeah.
about the charts.
Well, it's interesting because my company also was a sponsor of TDC Business, the last edition of TDC Business. Well, it's very interesting because the most of the companies that intend to be a sponsor, they are focused on some specific perspective of the audience. For example, some companies are in conference focus on hiring, so they are hunting talents, good talents, because they realize that, oh, the good talents are here walking down this in the stage, so I will talk to them if you are a sponsor this kind of conference. Also, and also there are companies that provide meetups, provide sponsor meetups or little events, because they always tries to, maybe, for example, Zoop is a company that has a special open source projects, and that are a little interested on the technologies and the people that working that attend those uh, those meetups. Oh God, my English is not working right now, God, but that's okay. Let's go. But I think that it's a good opportunity to meet the companies as well. So if you go to the meetup conference or something like that, the really thing is, like many said, is a social action. So you need to interact to the people. And you will realize, though, this company, for example, Oracle always on TDC. If you want to meet someone that works on Oracle, go there, man. You will see the people that working on. If you want to meet more people, more companies that
I
interested on.
stopped to hear next.
Oh, can you hear me?
You
Can you
hear
hear
We
me?
can
me?
hear. I can hear
Yes.
Max. It might be
Yeah.
your
Oh,
internet connection.
Oh, it's it.
Hugo. Yeah.
oh, oh. But the other thing that I say, that
Okay.
it's very interesting because the companies that sponsor the events, they are interested on the developers, and I think that it's very interesting because, man, today every company have technology, needs to develop technology, needs software. You need to realize that. So that's the reason why the most companies interested on in conference, interested on in the meetups, they are looking for the internet, focus on, oh, look, this guy is sharing a good content, and the content is related to our software inside of our company. Oh, this guy could be a good hiring team. I will hire it then. I will talk to him, and the most of the company coming to me trying to talking to me. It's very interesting because you need to realize that if you go out, reach out the company, probably good opportunities could be good come to you. So, but of course, it's part of the process. You need to work it on. It's not easy. You need to work it on, as we are doing right now, jumping on the session, interact on the chat, like Rodrigo that said, "Hey, folks, good evening." So, Rodrigo, nice to see you here. So, Alexandre Sodré that said that it's a greetings from Java. David Vieira as well. Oh, David Vieira has a question. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, David is asking about recommendation for finding a mentor. Do you know where I can find mentors? Are there people willing to offer mentorship? Yes,
Hugo,
there are
Hugo, you
many.
might have an answer for this, Hugo. You and Bruno, at least, at
Yes,
least, at least.
yeah. Like Mari said, Bruno Souza, one of the main audience is to mentor senior developers to grow in their career. Um, I also mentor my developers on my team to grow. So if you are looking for mentorship, a good idea for me is to find a person that you respect, you have trust, you see their work, and you see that they are doing what you want to be doing in your career. I think the best fit. Not every. I think it's like it's someone that will help you and become close to you, to your dreams, and you have to share your dreams to get there. And for that, have to be someone that you trust. Okay, so I think that's the best option you have to find a great mentor. And
Yeah,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
couldn't say it any
Some more
better.
time. Yeah.
I couldn't say it any better than Hugo said it. So you summarized and said all the points you wanted to say about it, and he also now knows who he can go to find a mentor. We got two examples here: Hugo and Bruno Souza. Right, they're starting points, and then of course you can end up finding more mentors after that.
Thanks, money. And one last thing I want to add on the previous topic about companies that sponsor developers to go to the conferences. Of course, for any developer, it's a great thing to get free tickets, to get rides to the conference, to get some stay on a place that you can interact and have some fun and get to know some great people. But we have to understand, we have to remember that companies are looking after return over an investment they do. So it's not about ourselves. You can't just tell to the companies, if you are a developer and you want a company to invest in you, you you can just tell them that, oh, if I go to the conference, I will grow. It doesn't help them to understand what will be. Of course, you grow and you can help them more, or you can just leave on the next day, and, and they don't have any way to get the return over the investment they did for you. So one very important thing that I get some examples from when we run a journey to visit many universities and schools recently to get some sponsor from companies. We have to add value to those companies that are sponsoring us. So we are sharing their name, their logo. We are talking about what they do, because it's not very easy to the places that we visit to have these visibilities. And there are sources of developers and many brilliant minds there that will be at some point will be reaching the market, and will be a great source for the company to hire them later. So we have to show to the companies what they actually will gain by sponsoring anything, by sponsoring you, by sponsoring your project, by sponsoring your talk. So I think that's a great thing to always remember. It's always not about us. It's always about how we can help them to get what they want, or how we can help anyone to get what they want. So that's a way, I believe, to get much better results, outcomes from when you want to actually have some sponsor from your company or from anyone that you're working to.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point made by Hugo, because a lot of sponsorship is dependent on sort of an equal give and take. It's not like you go and just go and grab and get all the swags and get to meet developers and make connections. But the ones who are working hard to put this conference together to bring all the sponsors for whom actually the conference is sometimes organized, who also wants to get value for money for their time and for their investment, right? And able to connect with some good strong developers and build some business relationships with other vendors and other developers or other companies. So yeah, it's always a mutual playground as opposed to being one-sided. Cool. Should we segue into showing the long-awaited demo that
Yes, I think
Hugo,
it's a great
I've been
idea.
keeping you, I've been keeping you in the dark about. I just added the link on the Dropbox paper, but I
Let's
mean
see if
I'll
I
make
can
it.
get that.
Yeah, I think before that I'll try to. Can you see my screen? I've just screen shared something.
Yes, I share the screen.
Cool. So I don't know if you're following this thing on AI creating art. There is this concept called diffusion models. So just to get all the technical details out of the picture here, just to keep it simple, a diffusion model is used to translate text into an image, or text into audio, or text into another set of text. So previously we used to know them as generative AI. So like you already know about GP3 model. You give it a few words or a sentence, and it'll create a whole sort of paragraph, maybe several pages of text out of nowhere. So they've taken this concept further, and what they've done is trained model to recognize and parse a lot of images. And now if you put in just a few words, keywords, and they need to make sense. Even if they don't make sense, sometimes the model is smart enough to pick it up. And so this is a website you can go to. It's called stablediffusion.com. I'm going to share that in the chat so the rest of the world can go on it, and it's free. It's not as powerful as some other models like DALI, or there's a whole bunch of them that are out there. Mid Journey, I will share those links as well later on. But they have a limitation. They're not free. They'll allow you 50 tries, and then afterwards it's not going to work anymore. So just to give you a quick demo, what I did was I'm going to start from scratch so you can see uh, how it's working. So you go to the website, okay, and then it'll take you to this section here, and then you say, actually, let me just start from scratch. You go to the website and you click on this get started for free, as you said, and then you type in a text. So it's a prompt driven image generator. So I picked up these words because I found that the combination of these words, it goes and picks up several images or a lot of images where all these words match up, and it blends them all together, diffuses them to create a nice looking image, and it gives you four different outputs, right? So let's click on the generate button, and at the bottom you'll see they have just given us some examples, and I've started using these examples, and it starts looking really good. In a little bit I will ask the audience, including our host and the guests, to come up with words, and you can see what you can see here is a fusion of Niagara Falls and Amazon forest, and I've also put Mount Everest there. So there's an element of the sky and the mountains of Mount Everest, the green of the Amazon forest, and the waterfall here. So you can see just a few of these words put together. The model recognizes these words, blends those pictures, and creates these nice looking art. Maybe pick up something from here, because this one I liked quite a bit, and I'm going to just use that. So I clicked on this thing called High Tech Solar Punk Utopia in the Amazon forest, right? Now I used Amazon forest because you guys in Brazil, right? Closest to you. Okay, so do you see what happened in the Amazon forest? There's a high-tech solar punk utopia. I don't know what it's trying to say, but you can already see here. This is something you would see in a sci-fi film, um, some sort of like dinosaur film, like Jurassic Park, where you have some sanctuary
Remember about that.
inside the forest. And so, what the model has done is taken all these words together, found images, and blended them together, and you cannot see the difference. You cannot make out the separation between the different images. They're all been blended together as one image, right? So let's take another one. Take this Pikachu fine dining Eiffel Tower, right? So when I clicked on it, the text appears here. I click on generate image.
Yes.
All right. Looks funny, but let's try another one. Mecha robot in favela expressionist style. I don't know what that means, but let's give it a try.
Pasta picture.
All right. So there is a robot here, and there's some sort of a expressionist style is probably the type of painting, the style of painting. Um, what's the insect robot preparing delicious meal? That would be interesting to see what that looks like. So whilst I'm doing this, can each one of you come up with a word for me that I will type in here, and we can have an image from it. So
Well, we got one. We got one, money. Dev Mutask tried to ask you to try to write his last name, Boaglio, and try to get
no,
some pasta name, pasta picture.
okay, wait.
Because
So
Boaglio
we
means pasta, if I'm not wrong.
okay. So when I say, can I say pasta? So making pasta. Uh, cooking. Okay, I just came up with this. Did I spell that right? Okay, I think so. I did. So let's try and see. Um, any more combinations? Because the crazier crazier combinations words you have, there you go. I don't know. Is this anywhere close to what we wanted to look at?
I don't know what
I,
Baguio
I,
maybe
I,
have some meaning in Italy. So, you can
Yeah,
go ahead,
maybe
Manny.
it has picked up those words and it's put together the pasta.
yeah, actually, Boaglio, it's an Italian name if I'm not wrong. So if you
Mhm.
put Boaglio, probably you show up some pasta image,
Yeah,
something like that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
try this one.
interesting.
Small cabin on top of a snowy mountain in the style of Disney artisan. Art station. Sorry. Wow. Looks interesting. It looks Disney like. It's also got the snow element to it, and it's got the Disney element to it. It looks like a station. It's a small cabin, and it's drawn all the four perspectives that you can think of. And yeah, you can zoom into each one of them and have a closer look to it. Okay, let's do one last one, and then we can switch to our usual book sharing thing. Let have one word from each one of you. You go.
Well,
Any
Pedro
word.
suggested here
Mhm.
try best invention of the humanity.
Okay, the best
Invention of the
invention of humanity. Oh, I misspelled that. Best invention of humanity. Okay. I removed the word "the" because it would not read that correctly. So the best invention of humanity. All right. I don't know if this is an invention, but maybe it is still to be invented, and hence it's in the
memes.
process of being invented.
It's a social media, man. It's a social media.
This is good, good, good.
We can go polemic with that.
Yeah, since you mentioned social media, what will happen if you type Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, name anything else?
TikTok,
LinkedIn. Do you have any other social media names you want to give? Mastodon,
TikTok, Mastodon.
Mastodon,
Yeah,
TikTok.
Mastodon.
TikTok.
Instagram,
Okay, I
Facebook.
think we have enough. This is the last one, and we have enough. Let's see what happens. And you guys have the link, so you can go. Oh no, this is so bad. You can see who's dominating the image database. There is no
Oh
sign
God.
of. No, wait a second. Actually, that's not true.
But yeah,
Um,
but still Facebook logo.
yeah. Oh, still, in all of them, there's a flavor of Facebook. There's no Twitter anywhere. There's no. There is a bit of LinkedIn, right? And this is a mash bash of whatever it is. I can't really see. So I think that is a mess. All right. I think with
Yeah.
that,
Unfortunately, it's not a. It doesn't appear a cup of coffee. Unfortunately.
it doesn't. Oh, how about
Wait a minute.
time? How about saying cup
What?
of coffee, Java? I know I said that was the last one. I still want to give one last try before we go.
Let's be polemic. Let's be polemic. Let's see. Right now.
Coffee. You can't go wrong.
Coffee. Oh.
This is Java.
This is Java.
Java, 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 the best of
All right, I'm gonna shut this down now, and we're gonna return to our usual sensible thing. So I hope you enjoyed the 10 minutes of entertainment. Um, there are better generators, and maybe in another session I will show them. And there's ones that generate images as well and videos and audio. So maybe we can experiment with them another time. So I just thought for a change we jump, because I know Yuga and I had this conversation. Should we start showing real tech stuff in our, and not just have talks and keep it theoretical, right? We want to be
Mm.
practical. So showing programs. So next time we will show code. Maybe I'll fix. We still have
Yeah.
two pull requests to fix, right, Hugo? We need to
Yes,
fix them
I have.
online. Yes, we're gonna fix them online.
Oh
We're gonna
my.
make we're gonna make that
What?
program work online. This is what social programming is all about, right? Social coding is all about. To collaboratively
Yeah,
fix it. So, how many people do we have in the audience here today? Almost 10 people, right? At least.
I think it is.
This,
How many
No, no,
people
no,
watching today?
no, no. I meant in the on the restream channel. We've got at least 10 people, right?
at least
Yeah.
10. Yes, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So 10 people plus us four is good enough to fix a pull request, isn't it? We can do it next time.
Oh my. But
Yeah.
money is
We
putting
can,
me on the fire to get to
no,
do
but
live coding.
we can
But
fix
okay.
our, no, Hugo,
Sure.
we can fix my pull request first, then you'll get some confidence, and 2 or 4 weeks later we can fix your pull request. How about that?
Okay.
Make it easy for you.
Let, let's see how it works. Let's see.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It could be a disaster, but who
Yeah.
cares, right?
Rodrigo is getting excited with this idea. I hope you joined Rodrigo to watch
Yeah,
us,
I
and
hope
also you
everyone.
join here on the conversation, and yeah, maybe we can collaborate with the PR fix.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it could be possible that does not have to be my pull request only. Once we fix mine, we start fixing somebody else's. There's one more I wanted to share, and there's Dali as well. But and there's also uh, there's one that generates code, but I forgot the name. But Dali
Yeah,
generates images.
the interesting
Yeah,
thing is
Codex.
that I just get to experiment Dolly this week. I haven't experimented it before, and Pedro just shared there that he generated his book cover with Dolly. It was very interesting to have some nice creative things, creative ideas,
Yeah, yeah,
especially book cover. That is
yeah,
something that we
absolutely.
have to be great to
But
generate.
maybe we can generate a background for our
Oh
restream
yeah, yeah,
using one of those
you're right.
generators, right? Because we cannot be as good as those generators in terms of coming up with artistic images, isn't it? So
It's not our
cool.
strong skill.
It is not our core competency, isn't it? Hence,
Yes,
now computers
exactly.
are taking over the things we cannot
That's
do very
amazing.
well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
and they're doing a great job. Imagine us trying to blend, in the past and even now, animators and those photo editors and whatever you call them, designers, and those digital artists. They paid a huge amount of money, and for each photo touch up they do, they take massive amounts of money because it costs them so much time, and they're putting the
Effort.
creativity in
Yeah,
there. But now we are not saying that creativity is going to be replaced or it's not useful, but we can have alternative forms of computer generated art which costs you 0 cents, and there is no copyright on them, because once a new image is created, whoever creates the image is the owner of the image.
great. Yeah, that was great. Great content to share, and yeah, it's good to have demos here, and we'll be adding more and more for the session
Absolutely.
from now.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah,
let's see how it
it's to
goes.
keep
Go.
everybody excited, to keep everybody excited and inspired, and wanting to do more. Like when I saw these things, I said, oh, now I want to do this, I want to build this, and I want to create that image, I'm going to put this together. Otherwise everything is boring if you're just talking and not showing things.
So
Cool. Anyways, I think it's time for us to talk about books, or at least
yes,
one book that you want to give away.
yes. Who wants to start?
Oh,
I'm
Hugo,
uh,
Hugo, why don't you start?
yeah. Go
I
ahead.
can start. I can start.
Okay,
I
okay,
have
bro.
you.
Let me pick one book here.
I have a great tip is how to talk to anyone and 90 little tricks for big success in the relationships. And this book have a great tips I put here in the link down. To lose your fear and give it talks and how create the courage to enter at the stage with your pictures like Superman and okay I have a property to talk here. I have a knowledge. You did hear my talk. What? Oh, you did hear my talk. And this book is very very amazing because give you a lot of tips. And what next? Many?
Yeah, I shared a book. I'm not sure if I've shared this before. Seven Habits of a highly effective people. Um, Hugo, you also have a book on Bob Martin that you wanted to share it, didn't you?
I put the book in yoga here now.
Yeah,
Clean
I ended up
architecture.
sharing other one. I shared
Okay.
the Team Geek.
Yeah, that's
It is,
fine.
yeah, it's a great book to understand how to work in a team, in a software development team. So it's a lot of that soft skills that we used to a lot here in conferences. So it's a great one to it's a great and easy book to read. Also have some interesting concepts like the bus factor. If you don't know what it is, you can
Read the
check
book.
on the book. Yeah. So yeah, that's my choice of the week. And how about you, Max? Do you have some book that want to share to the audience?
Max,
Yeah,
you have written a book yourself, haven't you?
no, no. Actually, oh God, my internet is not working.
No,
Can
you're
you
You
fine.
listen
We
you
me?
can
have
hear
some
you.
delay.
Yes,
Oh,
I hear you.
okay, good. Okay, so well, today we talk a lot of about conference, about a social thing that we need to do, social connection with developers. So I'd like to share with you a special book that I'm still reading. So, but it is the developer market doesn't not exist. It's a very interesting one because this is this is a book that explains that the strategy to reach out developers is very different than another kind of person. So, in the most of the company that trying to reach out developers needs to pay attention to this strategy because it could be how can I say could be a special thing that could be how can I say it could be the results could be the success or the failure of some kind of product adoption or create some kind of program with developers. So I'd like to share this one because it's very interesting. I'm reading to understand more how to deal with communities and in the social media and so on. That's it.
Interesting one. Yeah, very out of the box developer book. Great
Great.
It is an out of the box developer style book,
style book. Yeah,
not the
exactly.
usual not the usual books that we recommend.
Amazing.
You
Yeah, that's
guys
great.
you guys need to get the all tips that you're shared during this whole season of this devil above
And
session
write a
and you
book.
write in book man that it's a good one.
Yeah, it's
This
a
is
good,
this has
a good.
this has been the idea as well. So we're not necessarily we are not sure. I'm not discouraging the idea, but we may do other things than a book. But it could end up becoming a book because this guy Jewel on software. If you've heard of him, he wrote several blog posts, nearly 30, 40 of them. And then what did he do? He printed all those blog posts, he compiled them into a book, and he published the book and he sold it. And I bought it, even though I know I can go online and read the blog post. I still wanted to have a copy of the book.
a copy. Yeah.
And that's what we did. I bought a copy and I
Great.
enjoyed reading the book, better than going onto the website and reading the blog post.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
that's great.
it will be a challenge. It will be
it
a
will be a
challenge.
challenge. You can understand it's a video we are talking about here. Several months of videos, almost 30, 40 hours of videos, maybe 30 hours of videos for sure. We've had, this is our 11th show actually, if I'm counting right. Actually, no, this is our 12th show.
12.
And each of them has been an hour and some 15 minutes. So yeah, it's 12. Yeah, more than 12 hours of video for sure. Uh, so yes, you're right. And then there's a lot of content that came in, like text messages and messages that see on the right. So you're very right about that. But it'll be, if we manage to do something nice with it, it can be a very good book. It could be a compilation of various episodes of videos, but then it won't be a book. But then if all the text content is put together, it could become a blog post or a book or a small booklet.
Great.
Yeah, great.
I don't hear
So
anything in the background. Has the noise all stopped? Or is it have you switched off your microphone?
sorry.
I
Yeah, we
don't
still
hear
have
anything in the
a still
background.
noise here, but yeah, they stop it a bit here.
I see. I see.
So yeah, so I think we reach our at the end of the session today. I want to thank Manny for being here all the session together, Manny, and making it possible to run, and also Gabriel and Max for being here as a guest. It was great to have you guys, and to have you guys and improving these discussions. So thanks a lot, and I hope you guys enjoy the session and see you on the next one. So, bye bye.
See ya. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. See ya.
Ciao.